Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. Last time we got our alliance with the Templars. We defeated the Envy Demon and we got a new companion called Cole. I think this episode seems like a good point to get ourselves all prepared, talk to everybody, and really set ourselves up for the next part.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement.
Okay.
The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to
So we need lyrium because we got Templars. Anyway, we're gonna do equipping first. I think that makes the most sense. Let's see what we've got here. All of this is new. So two-handed weapons go to me first. Need to be level 9 for that one. So we currently have the Claymore equipped. One-handed Canary Battle Axe. That would lower our damage. Okay. That's only a one-handed one. Sledgehammer would lower our so all of this would lower our damage. Oh, because then... Okay, yeah, it'll just lower our damage, so... we should keep the Greatsword for when we reach level 9, and the rest of it we can get rid of. There. At least for us. Let's look at armor. So, helmets. The Ferelden Soldier helmet would be good. We'd lower our dexterity, though. Not sure I want to do that. Maybe I do, actually. I don't... Well, not necessarily lower dexterity, but just because we've been tanking a lot more. So, I think that would be a good choice. Right, let's see what we've got. Mage only and light adventurer armor. Mage only. Oh, that's because I was only looking at that type of armor. Yep, we have the best that we could have on. Accessories. Amulet power. Gain an ability point when used. Cassandra only. Okay. Leaping shot. That's not us. Mighty blow is useful. Amulet constitution. So we have cooldown. What do we have? Heal on kill is useful. And mighty blow. Get more constitution. I like heal on kill though. That's useful if we've got a lot of small enemies to fight. Nade belt. Barrier. Flanking bonus. Life ward amulet. What do we have in our amulet slot? Cooldown. This would give us... When a blow is about to drop a character's health below 0, the amulet shatters and heals the character for the specified amount. So that's kind of a one-use amulet. Interesting. We don't really need any of that. Do we have any belts? We do. Melee defense. Seems like a good belt to put on. Right. Upgrades. Don't have anything that can be upgraded, I don't think. Right, that's us equipped. Cassandra, you're next in line. I'm so happy I have helmets turned off. It's fire resistance. Don't want fire resistance. It actually does give more armor rating. We don't really have a use for fire resistance, though. Although flat armor is probably pretty useful. Free March's hat as well. We're going to give her the Free March's helmet, because it's got a bit more armor, and willpower will help us against magic, I think. Armor. I was in. I was checking whether anything was better than what she's wearing. It's not. Okay, accessories. She's built spirit resistance, amulet of power, so that's given her another ability point. She doesn't have that ability, no. Amulet of Constitution seems very sensible to give her. And barrier penetration. Barrier damage, but does barrier... Oh, that's damage against barriers, got it. Ring of flanking. She's never going to flank, so it's totally useless on her. Because if she's tanking, they'll be attacking her. Right. Oh, and in weapons, I forgot to check this. Let's see what we got. Looks like her rare sword is significantly better than any of these options. It should be, it's a rare sword. And shield. Despite tower shield, it's better than her reinforced shield. So we'll give her that. She is all set up now. Sarah. Let's see what we got here. Not level 8. Okay. Skirmisher's longbow is better. Gives her dexterity as well. That's useful. Yep. So we need to look at there. We've got armor. Should have something better for her. Give her the fire resistance cowl. She doesn't need it though. We'll give her the scout's hat for extra dexterity. And light armor. Mage only. She's currently got a hunter's coat on. It seems to be fine. No, that's absolutely fine. Do we actually have any upgrades of any type? No. Fine. Sarah is set up. Oh, apart from her accessories. I think she has leaping shot. Yeah, we'll give that to her. She doesn't really need the amulet of constitution or of willpower. Ring of flanking. We'll give her that as well. And belts. We'll give her a grenade belt. Right. Next. Blackwall. Weapons. He has a mercenary longsword. Oh, we want one-handed weapons. This would be better, but wouldn't have the armor penetration. This would be significantly better and would have bleed on hit. We'll give him the hatchet. And shields, we have a better shield for him. There we go. Any armor for him? Nope. Helmets. Got a venture hat. It's not as good as his griffin helmet though. Yeah. And it has an upgrade. I think. So? No, it doesn't. It's just green. That would be slightly better, but it's also too high level. Accessories, he needs the Amulet of Constitution. And let's give him a grenade. Actually, we'll keep the grenade belts for the rogues. Cole is a rogue. Interesting. I have no idea what he does, but he does have 2 daggers. Let's see, do we have any? We have some daggers. Audacity. Wow, that is a dagger and a half. We will equip that. And Antivium Leader. It's next best, and then we'll just compare them down against the Bleeder. I think they're all going to be worse, though. Yeah. Is he an elf? He had Dalish slashes on him, I think. That's why I'm asking. I guess we'll find out. He looks human. He doesn't look elf. It's hard to tell. He might be a spirit, though. Which would make it even more confusing. Cole's hat. Yep, that seems to be good for him. He has hunter coat on. Good. And let's see what else. Accessories. We'll give him the grenade belt. Next, Vivian. She needs armor. So we got some light armor, enchant mail, or light adventure armor. We'll give her the enchant. Oh, she's not level 8. We'll give her the light adventure armor. Doesn't look quite as nice as it used to, or well dressed, but she's definitely better dressed for fighting. What's her Elysian hand? Cunning and spirit. Okay. Well, it gives her some stats. We'll let her keep it. And weapons? Do we have any weapons for her? Base staffs. Nope. And accessories. Willpower amulet. Seems like a good one. We're not going to give her the Wall of Ice amulet because that is for Solus. Oh, because he's the one who has leveled up on the ice bit. We'll keep the life ward in case we need it. What else? Armor. I think we have some more armor from Battle Mage. He's not high enough level. We'll give him the fire resistant cowl. And the enchanter coat. Here he is. He's a little bit snazzier dressed. And Varric. I think we might have Varric set up properly. Yeah, you can only use Bianca, and I don't think we have any armor left from give him a venture hat. Is that better than his? Yeah, it is. Okay. He's got the Carter coat on, which I think is the only thing we could give him. And last but not least, Iron Bull. Weapons. He has a Bull's Edge. That is. Target explodes on hit. Wow. That is something. It's not actually as good as this greatsword. Oh, but that requires him to be level 9, so that's fine. It doesn't need to be. Let's give him some armor. I did see that we had some armor only for Kunari chained people. So we'll give him that hat. And that's him set up, I believe. Yep. Yes! That is him done. And are we finished all of our companions? Yes.
I hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Let's talk to Josephine first.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's Templars. According to Lady Corpin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
Oh.
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power, instead of comforting the masses.
Appear to be consolidating. What's needed more than ever? The Chantry?
The Chantry should be a place of hope, not another group scrambling for answers.
That must be its strength again. The Chant did much to bridge nations. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrasti's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
I suppose a shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
How did someone so lovely and selfless go into Orlesian politics, Lady Montillier?
Well, that is, really, you give me too much credit. While you're here, I do have a question. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Well, I think we should ask for her advice, because I think the best answer would be to kind of give them a vague answer. Not really give them any definite truths that they can deny. So, let's see what she thinks.
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
Well, I don't claim to be holy, but I did say to all those Templars that I was, so I guess Andraste chose me.
I'll tell the Chantry that Andraste herself shielded me from harm.
I'd truly like to hear the debates that would raise in Val Royeaux. Thank you for your thoughts. A good day to you.
Good.
Do you need anything more, revered mother?
Let's turn in
We
the
will study
research.
that.
Good. Let's talk to her.
Hello? Can I help you with something?
Right, we've been through all that.
I'll speak with you later.
Travel safely.
Is it? She's gonna stand there. Let's talk to see if Josephine has anything else to say.
Good day to you.
Done all that.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from Tevinter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards, if she insists on a match.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for her. This is my room, I'm guessing. No, this is someone else's room. Mother Giselle, let's see how the people are doing.
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the Templars. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
We will try.
In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
You did well to gain the Templars to your cause. The people have hope that the breach may be sealed. Some of them are returning to the lives they fled, others are starting fresh. In either case, they no longer believe the world as they know it is ending.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word begging for assistance. People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon. It may be demons or something worse, but they are terrified. More than that I cannot say. It is a chaotic time for all in Follet and Ferelden.
Farewell, revered mother.
Farewell.
Okay. Let's go and have a look in our dungeon, see if anyone's hanging around here. I don't imagine anyone's down here, but... Oh, if we were a rogue, we could go in there, but... As leader of the Inquisition, I do not have the power to go. Oh, lots of lock cells. Okay. Fine. I get it. They are probably going to be filled later. Or not at all, and it's just a giant hiding thing. Let's see what Vivian's thinking after we've sided with Templars.
It is good that you salvaged as many Templars as you did, my dear. We will need every Templar, but they will require proper management. We also need to increase our lyrium supplies considerably. The Chantry may still have stockpiles we can use.
Cullen will look into it. He must already have a supply line.
He undoubtedly did. But it was established before the Divine Conclave. The situation has changed. The breach has done more than disfigure the sky. The veil itself is broken. All mages, no matter how skilled, are now in danger of drawing demons to them. Before this crisis is over, You may find that Templars, flawed as they may be, are all that stand between us and chaos.
When you say mages are a danger, are you counting yourself?
Of course I am, my dear. Every mage who joins the cause is taking a calculated risk, whether they know it or not. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
I don't think the mages of the Imperium would agree with you.
Drunkards rarely agree that they ought to stop drinking. I wouldn't use them as role models. Do you know how young mages are found? A little girl has a nightmare, and in her sleep, she burns her house down. A teenage boy has a fit, and lightning rips his mother to pieces. Imagine your own childhood and what would have happened if the darkest corner of your heart had a will of its own. People don't learn the fear of magic at Chantry services, my dear. They learn it from us. Tell me something. As you will no doubt have a hand in shaping it, what future do you see for mages?
Yeah, we need the circle back. That seems like the best solution. Maybe not as strict as it was, but it definitely there needs to be some focus.
The circle has to be restored if you want to keep the peace.
That's comforting to hear, but you'll find opposition to the idea even among friends. It's something to consider, my dear.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to talking to Solus. Actually, Vivian, let's talk again.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in the Circle.
Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarrans or men. I have known some who are impossible to endure and some who are utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val Royal. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay.
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear, and an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you lead all the loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored, that will change.
Okay. So she definitely sees it as she is the organization. And she is de facto head of it. Could be Grand Enchanter if there were more First Enchanters.
What was it like to live in a Circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So tell me about your personal experience with the Circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face, nor see the world as we do.
You must have been under constant supervision, being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I've never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive. Perhaps too permissive, in retrospect.
Interesting. Because it seemed like the circles were kind of to keep the mages in, and they were allowed out, when they were needed. But it seems like actually some circles were just, as long as the mages weren't a danger to anyone, they were allowed to just go out and live on their own. Very, very interesting.
How did we come to this state with the circles in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Ooh.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
Okay. Well, we learned a little bit more about the mages. We're going to see if she has anything else to tell us. We'll ask her about herself before we try
I'd like
flirting.
to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
Whatever would you like to know?
Your accent's not Orlesian. Where exactly are you from?
I am from the Circle, my dear. One's country of origin rarely matters there. But if you must know, I was born in Wycombe in the Free Marches. I was sent to the Ostwick Circle, but I transferred to Monsignor while still an apprentice.
I'm curious how a Circle mage winds up at court here.
Nobody winds up at court, my dear. It takes a great deal of effort to arrive there. I caught the eye of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine, an advantageous connection that opened many doors. When the position of Enchanter to the Imperial Court became vacant, I was able to secure it.
You're married to the Duke de Ghislaine.
Of course not, my dear. Don't be ridiculous. Marriage is the business of alliance and inheritance. I'm Bastien's mistress.
And what does the Duchess de Ghislaine think of this arrangement?
We got along quite well. Duchess Nicoline and I used to host musical salons together. She was a great patron of the arts. She passed away from a fever a few years ago, the poor dear.
What duties does a court enchanter have?
I am tasked with providing assistance to the Empress on arcane matters. Most of my predecessors restricted this to lighting lamps and doing parlor tricks. In such troubled times as these, however, I provide political advice to Her Majesty on the subject of the Mage Rebellion.
Okay, we've learned a bit about her. Time to put on the charm.
Do you think that you and I might, someday...
I don't see how that benefits me in the slightest, my dear.
Oh. Shut down. I'll see you next time.